Here I am. I've been sitting here for a little while trying to figure out what to talk about. This is the end of, let's back up. This is Mageddon Day 6 of hashtag grounding. It's been 3 weeks, 16 days of this. And this week was the last day of the first full week of really working at home. It's gone pretty well. At some point in the week, I think it was this week, maybe it was in the weekend, I went and got my chair from work. That fits my butt better, so I'm a little bit more comfortable in it. I also got a footrest that I use that kind of, I don't know, makes it more comfortable. So I'm fitting in. It's interesting. I think I mentioned before about having to, just get up, shower, and come out. And then at the end of the day, when is the end of the day? It's kind of hard to define that. I look at the laundry. We did laundry last weekend, and I'm wearing the same pants all week. I don't know if I should admit that or not, but I am. And we can reduce the laundry that way. We've gone out shopping a couple of times, but it's just kind of different. So far I'm kind of liking it. I was working from home, doing the things that I would normally do, but a little bit more relaxed environment and a little less uncertain about just people dropping in all the time. At first, for the first couple of days, the chat, people were always hitting me with chat and using it not quite the right way. So that seems to have calmed down. I do miss the direct personal interaction with my team members and kind of knowing what's going on and having that environment that going on around me. I have this idea that they're all still, or they're all, being able to focus, but then, I can tell that they're in meetings a lot and online meetings a lot. And so I just kind of wonder how it's going for them, and I don't really know. So in that case, it's kind of feels disconnected. One of the things I've noticed is there are so many collaboration tools out there, and everybody's using something. Well, not everybody's using something different, but today I had a Google Hangout meeting, and I've done Teams meetings. We use Teams. There's Zoom meetings and WebEx and Join Me and Log Me In and all these tools. And everybody that wants to use it says, well, this is what we use. And it's like, well, how are we supposed to have everybody using these different things? You're going to have 50 different clients on your computer and know how to use them. And it's a little bit confusing. And it can be difficult. I get it. I'm a little bit more comfortable with it, but some of the users that I support, they're really uncomfortable around that stuff, and so that's not all that great. I have found that the online meetings using, in our case, Teams, with one person, one-on-one, two people in the meeting, is pretty easy. You can have the conversation, especially if it's somebody you know. So you know their speech patterns, you know how they're going to speak and go, and it's comfortable. But you get 5 or 6 or 8 people in a meeting, and it becomes stressful. Because the tool, the communications through, I use a set of headphones to hear better, and the communications are not so great. They begin to break down, they'll chatter, they get that going through a tunnel sound of a cell phone, and people, or it gets harder to focus and harder to concentrate, so you really have to concentrate, and it's draining. It's not as casual, it's not as comfortable of a feeling to communicate. It'd be hard to have a casual, philosophical, just chat that way. It just wouldn't work very well. It makes me tired. The news today, we're supposed to be wearing masks now, are we all going to run around looking like cowboys or bad guys? How are they going to feel if I walk into the bank, with my covered up like that? Hey, that'd work really well if I was just going to dub these. I could just stand there and wave my arms around and fill in the information later, but probably not, huh? Today they were talking about, well, let's go back. First it was don't wear masks. They're no good unless you get the N95 ones and save those for other people. And then now it's wear masks. Everybody should wear masks. It's not mandatory, but you should wear the masks. And it kind of makes sense to me in a couple of ways that you would wear a mask. If you were always having to walk around like this, for one thing, touching your face is not that big a deal, but you would be a lot more conscious of it. And there'd be a lot more of the social cues that I think are necessary to really stay away from people or avoid social distancing. I haven't shaved. It's been a week now. Coming up on the longest I've ever gone without shaving. One of the members of our group at work has bailed on it. He's decided that it was a little too much for him. But there's still, I think, 4 of us that are still not shaving. So it'll be fun to see how that goes. I think the longest I've ever gone without shaving is 8 days, 9 days, something like that. Today is day 7 for me, so I think. In the news tonight, they were talking about the self-checks, and at the grocery store, they're too close together, and it seems to be this big problem and a big thing to have, a big hassle to handle, and it just makes so much sense. Target did it. Open every other one. They're 12 feet apart. Okay, you're good to go. We seem to make big deals out of little things. Yeah. So had a coworker whose daughter we thought had it. Turns out she didn't. The test came back negative. We were excited about that. I still don't know anybody who is directly affected. Like if my coworker's child had it, that would have been the closest I've been to it. My daughter, I think, knows somebody that knows somebody from her work, but I guess that's good. I really feel disconnected from the people in New York. They're having just a terrible time over there, and here it feels like an experiment. I feel really sad that I don't really understand what's going on over there, or I don't feel attached to it. I see it on the news. I hear about it. Intellectually, I see that it's terrible, but I drove to the plant this evening. We had some stuff we had to do on site, had to have hands on site. And there's not very many cars around. Hey, traffic's light. Woohoo! Well, this is bad. So working all day is at home is interesting. It's a good experiment, or it's not an experiment. It's a good experience. I don't know how long I'll want to do it. It will be very interesting to see how life returns to normal and what normal is for us. In one of my meetings today online, I was talking with one of my department people, and another person tried to connect to me, so I just connected us together. And the 3 of us had the conversation. It was real similar to, had that person arrived in my department, we probably would have, the 3 of us had that conversation. A little bit shorter than usual, which can be really good. But he was saying, I'm really liking this Teams thing. This is working really well. It's really handy. And it is. So coming out of all this, will we be different? I talked about that on the last one of these. Will we be different? Will we do things different? And I think we will. I wish I had been able to buy a lot more cameras. One of the people that I work with is not a fan of having the camera on, doesn't like the camera. But in a Teams meeting, said, hang on, I got to turn the camera on because I need something to focus at. I'd always thought, why do you need to have a camera? We can just talk. We talk on the phone all the time. Why do we need to have a camera? But it really does help focus. It does help with the communication. as internet bandwidth goes up, which is part of what we had to go to the office for today to reset our firewall rules, to take advantage of some bandwidth we had bought. But as that technology improves, it would be more practical to do a lot more stuff from home. I think my social side of going to work, I would miss seeing people. I don't know if I'd want to be a 5-day-a-week person. I don't know that anybody would. But I could imagine our entire office being a Tuesday and Thursday in the office and Monday, Wednesday, Friday being at home. And in things where you needed to have meetings, okay, everybody's congregating at the plant on Wednesday. Yeah, it's not a normal day there, but we're going to be there all day. So that's what we're going to do. It's interesting. I'm looking forward to what happens. My wife has begun to order her mom's food for her online so that they will do the shopping for her and they're delivering it for her. That's really handy for her. She's not comfortable doing that online stuff, so we do it for her and it goes to her so she doesn't have to be exposed too much. And at the first couple times she was a little bit nervous, but I think she kind of likes it now. I think it's kind of handy that the groceries she wants shows up. Yeah. Interesting week, a good week. I'm enjoying it. It feels a lot less stressful. Getting up and just coming down the hallway and sitting down and working, getting up and getting my coffee. Got my guitars on the wall. There's a long story about that. So far, so good. So, if you're out there, be safe. Do your social distancing. Wear your masks if you got them. Really be careful. It doesn't sound like something we want to mess with, even though it hasn't been effective or hasn't affected our state too much. Be careful out there. Anyhow, what is this? What did I say it was? Day 6? Day 6 of the Great Grounding. We'll talk to you another time. Probably won't be tomorrow. Probably will be Monday. So have a terrific weekend. Bye.